If you enjoy maintaining and repairing things around the house, but are often frustrated by the complexity of modern home mechanical systems and appliances, stay tuned. Today we're going to look at how easy it is to replace a high-failure item on a common household appliance, saving money in the process and broadening your DIY skills. This and more coming up right now here on Shop Tales and Lore. If you're a serious do-it-yourselfer or home workshop enthusiast looking for a variety of helpful content in one place, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified whenever we release a new video. And if we've helped you today, please take a moment to like, share, and comment below. It helps these videos reach more folks, and your comments help others as well. Thanks again. Household appliances used to last not just years, but decades. My grandparents had the same 1940 model GE refrigerator for nearly 40 years, and it still worked just fine when they upgraded to a larger one. Today we tend to buy the same poorly made items over and over again, but once, not so long ago really in the scheme of things, homeowners routinely maintained and repaired things around the house. A while back, we published an in-depth article on the huge post-war DIY phenomenon in our Shop Tales and Lore blog over at WordPress. We'll include a link to that piece in the description below. Thankfully, there are still many maintenance and repair items that the average homeowner can handle with confidence. For instance, if you own an electric clothes dryer, sooner or later the heating coil or heating element will fail. With some common sense precautions, replacing this part is simple and straightforward. The machine we're working on today is a Sears Kenmore, probably manufactured by a Whirlpool or a Roper. This machine is about 15 years old, but the motor, belt, drum suspension, and electronics are still going strong, so it makes sense to keep it in service if the trouble turns out to be an inexpensive item like a heating element. The element itself is housed in a plenum or combustion chamber at the bottom of the machine. If your dryer runs but produces no heat, this is the first thing to check. The problem could also be a blown thermal fuse, particularly if the dryer overheated due to a clogged vent hose or some other cause, or a malfunctioning high-limit thermostat. But depending on your model, both of these can be difficult to access, and it may be actually easier to check the heating element first. On this model, we access the heating element and its housing by removing the machine's bottom panel. Before doing this or servicing any appliance, always disconnect the power by unplugging the machine or turning off the circuit breaker. This panel is held in place by two small sheet metal screws at the very bottom of the dryer. If your dryer is mounted on a pedestal like this one, these screws are easily removed. If your machine sits on the floor, you may have to tilt it back slightly and support the front edge with a couple of wood blocks or something similar in order to get at these screws. Once the screws were out, I had to pull out the pedestal drawer slightly to slide the panel down and remove it. To get at the heating element itself, we have to remove this cover that is held in place by one sheet metal screw. Once the screw is out, slide the cover toward you, releasing it from the heating element housing. This is a good time to remove any lint or other debris that may have accumulated at the bottom of the chassis. There's no way to keep this area completely clean. Just try to remove any large clumps of lint or other potential combustibles. Next, carefully unplug the leads from this junction block that is part of the heating element. Finally, remove this single screw that holds the element in its housing and slide out the element. The heating coil extends along both sides of the element assembly, suspended on its frame by small insulators. Inspect the unit carefully, looking for any break in the coil wire. And here's the problem. This break in the coil interrupts continuity of the circuit, preventing the element from heating. To put everything back together, just reverse the disassembly steps. Start by sliding the new element into its housing and securing its mounting screw. Now reconnect the leads to the terminals on the heating element. Next, reattach the combination support cover to the element housing and the dryer's frame. Before replacing the bottom cover, do a function test. Use extreme caution for this. Keep your tools and hands away from the dryer while it's running. Now turn off the machine, disconnect the power once again, and replace the front cover. If you've done a similar repair, be sure and let us know in the comments how it turned out. Thanks for watching, and remember that with a little research and patience, you can fix your stuff and not break the bank.